So, what years did Bundy commit these crimes?
Bundy committed a lot of his crimes during the 1970s, and they were just in several different states. So, who were Ted Bundy's victims? What do they look like?
Ted Bundy admitted to 36 killings of young women, but experts believe that the final tally may have been closer to 100 or more. The exact number of women Bundy killed will never be known. The victims were all young and were women. Most of them had brown hair with a middle part that resembled his ex. Can you explain some of the stories about what he did to these women?
Yeah, Bundy didn't always wait for an opportunity to snatch one up off the streets. He actually broke into homes and dorm rooms to rape and murder women. On the night of January 4th, 1974, Bundy broke into the basement bedroom of an 18-year-old student. He beat her with a metal rod and from her own bed frame.
Whoa.
And raped her. He even sexually assaulted her with a speculum and then left her lying there in a pool of her own blood. She survived, but was already in a coma when her roommates found her. She suffered with permanent brain damage. What are some interesting details of his crimes?
All of Ted's victims looked like his ex-girlfriend that broke his heart in college. He used his handsome looks and charisma to win the trust of his females. He decapitated 12 of his victims and even did the hair and makeup of the heads he had cut off. He broke into a sorority at Florida University and beat 4 women while they were sleeping, and 2 died from the injuries. Rumor has it, Bundy even ate flesh of his victims. So how was Ted Bundy caught?
Well, he actually killed some college students at Florida State University, and he beat them, and on one of the college students he bit, and the marks were the exact marks to match Ted Bundy. What were some of Ted's characteristics?
Well, we know 2 things for sure. He was a lust killer and he was an organized killer. For instance, he was a lust killer because there was a 12-year-old girl named Kimberly Leach. He kidnapped, raped, and murdered her, and then hid her under a pig. He was an organized killer proven because he could change his identity by changing his appearance. And it took several months for the cops to figure out who was killing Ted Bundy. An American serial killer and rapist was put to death around 7 a.m. at Florida State Prison in an electric chair outside the prison. Crowds celebrated his death and even set off fireworks after Bundy's execution. Coming up, we will have an interview with Carol DeRanch on her story and more about Bundy himself and other victims. So, what happened?
Well, Ted came up to me and told me he was a police officer, and someone stole his car, so I just really wanted to help. Like, obviously when someone tells me they're the police officer, like, I would believe them. So I went with this man, and I kind of got a little suspicious, so I asked to see some identification, and he showed me his badge, and it looked pretty believable, so I went along with it. And we were in his other car to find the car that was stolen, and he was telling me wherever he drove me off to is where that he thinks this car that was stolen of his is at. And out of nowhere he goes, "I'm not the person I said I was, and something bad's about to happen." And he grabs my wrist, takes a pair of handcuffs, attaches it to my left arm, left wrist, and locks me up. And I was scared. I thought I was going to die. I didn't even think I'd be able to tell my story because no one would even have known what happened to me. So I was actually able to break away from the car. I was just trying to get out of this situation, and I was lucky enough to find another car that was passing by, and that's how I was rescued.